Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's some serious. Where my girls at? We ain't linked up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Oh my goodness. Welcome back to We Got Issues. Welcome back. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, people. Happy Friday. I'm so excited to be here with you. Hey, happy Friday. Oh my gosh. Welcome to 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. We're so excited to be here with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that song is so appropriate today. Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Well, there's two of us here.
You got me.
We
You
got
got
two of
me.
us. We got Gloria and you got Katrina. Missing today is Sabrina Goodwin Monday as she has to drop her phenomenal son off at Princeton. We're so excited that Quincy's going back to school. All prayers
Yes.
up, all prayers up for that.
For
and then
sure.
Chris is going to bring us the tea on Monday about a wedding that she's attending, a family wedding that she's attending. So we're very excited. You guys, you got to watch their social media because I know they got some stories between the wedding and the mask and school and the mask and the vaccination. And last night, I mean, yesterday, we were hot like fire about COVID.
OMG.
And the news is like fire. So when I tell you, okay, so let's talk about Baltimore for a second. It was gorgeous and hot here. I mean, gorgeous and hot. And then it's cloudy. So I walked over to my office with my umbrella because I think it's going to be like a thunderstorm, but not what's coming to Florida. They say Florida is getting ready to get hit. So I'm sorry to hear about that. But I am excited about this topic. Clubhouse, Zoom, Facebook Live, and we have a guest that's going to be on the call tonight. So callers, if you are like the rest of the world and trying to still become a master at Zoom, a master at Clubhouse, a master at Facebook Live, like you still too afraid to lend your voice or your face to the internet, you got to call in and tell us your story. 313-778-7600 because the callers make a difference. Now, you guys know we're sometimes messy, sometimes bossy, sometimes classy, sometimes crazy, sometimes all of it. But right now, we're going to be newsy. We're going to be newsy. Okay, we're going to go out to the West Coast. The East Coast and the West Coast are holding it down. We got no North and no South. So we're going after our girl, Katrina Harris Earl. What's happening?
Yes, yes, with my girl Gloria Mayfield Banks shirt on for the Facebook audience. Okay.
Yes,
I'm getting some of that
super bad all day long.
Oh my gosh, this is the best travel shirt, Gloria. This shirt right here. Do you travel? It is like so good. I'm not going anywhere today, but I love to travel.
So comfortable.
It's so comfortable, and you always get compliments. Okay, so I mean, where do we start today? Do we start with this morning, the first thing that came to my mind this morning as I was working with those weights and my trainer was just killing me is I was saying to myself, I am not in Afghanistan. I'm not in Afghanistan.
Wait,
this
before we
is
go there,
not hard.
Katrina, before we go there, let's just talk about the trainers killing both of us today. I said to my trainer, I said, you act like you're never going to see me again. Like you want to give it all today, like all of it today, y'all. We're going to do a show about these trainers because I think they're crazy. I think they're all crazy. Hard and crazy.
Yeah. He always looks at me and says, don't cuss me out with that tone of face. My face
that tone of face. That's funny. That's funny.
I said, yeah. Because I mean, seriously. And I messed around and said, let me try the heavier weight. And I was like, oh my gosh, but working my whole body. And what was interesting is one of the things he had me doing, which was squats and then lifting. He said this particular exercise is known to help your memory because it causes your body, you're working so many different parts of your body till it has to stimulate your brain. And so I'm serious because we're dealing with, a little bit of dementia situation in our family. And I'm like, okay, let me do it. I can do it. Oh gosh. So that trainer, and yesterday was his birthday. So I was like, you working me out like, okay, this is your birthday gift, period, the end.
Okay, so this is what he told me. Today I ran and then walked and ran and I now walked. And I said to him, like, what's the difference of if I just walk? Like, I just want to walk. He said, no, because if you run and walk, you're going to turn up your body and it's going to run for like 4 to 6 hours. Wow. So, I mean, we're just sharing with our girlfriends. Yep. We're all up in it. So go ahead, Katrina, go ahead.
That is why you need a coach. I just wrote this down yesterday. You have to have a coach. I don't care how disciplined I become. That would be me. So Jalen, I'm taking care of that. Thank you. I don't care how disciplined I become. I am never going to push myself as hard without a coach.
Right.
So it's just, you need to have a coach. So it's worth it. So yeah, I was going to say something else and I need to do that weight because I forgot. OMG.
But you were saying that, no matter what, you have to have a coach. A coach will push you harder than ever. Right. And then you were going to say that even when you want to complain, when you think about Afghanistan, there's nothing to complain about.
In my mind, as hard as it was, I just said, I cannot imagine. He said, yeah, right. Can you imagine a mama having to pass her baby over a fence? Mm-hmm. And how many mothers wish they could pass their babies over a fence because they can't even do that. Imagine the mamas who got someone showing up to their door today, knocking on their door with news telling them that their son or their daughter is one of those. So, in prayer for our country and prayer for the decisions for our president. And then Gloria, I mean, it just came. Biden's getting it from every angle. I saw in Bloomberg that they said he is thinking of moving up the booster shot as early as 3 months.
Right. I saw that.
And based on what your cousin said, the good doctor yesterday, I'm like, really? 3 months. Sometimes you wonder if they know it's 3 months, but we just don't have the supply. So they have to tell you it's 8 months because there's no way everybody could get it that fast. I mean, it's just interesting.
I'm telling you, I meant today, but I'm going to over the weekend, and I'm going to find out as soon as I can get it. I'm going to run over there. I want to get that other piece that you were talking about to see what my antibodies are. Mm-hmm. But I think it's been 6 months. I feel like it's been 6 months since I had my vaccination. So I want to boost it. Like,
yes. Because a friend that I've known for 29 years today, I sent you guys the text, the girlfriend's a text. She was vaccinated with the Johnson & Johnson virus and she passed away. She did work in a prison. There was a high level of, so she was in an environment that probably was not the safest environment to be in the prison environment. And she was diabetic. So, but that just goes to show you, even with the vaccine, with any kind of inflammation in your body, it's just going to be, it's serious.
Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah. And you know what? That's so interesting that you brought up inflammation. And I know it's another topic that we got to bring up on We Got Issues, but sugar is inflaming most people. And me and my trainer were talking about how Coca-Cola, first the government tried us to eat a lot of sugar. So we got addicted to sugar because it is a drug. And then in order to get it off, because the government saw there was a problem, Coca-Cola invented high fructose sugar. Mm-hmm. And now we're all addicted to high fructose sugar. I mean, it's so serious. And that inflames your body. Inflammation is ravaging through our bodies because of the sugar and because of the high fructose. So you got to be so careful, and you can't get COVID, and there's another variant coming. It's serious.
Yes. So Sabrina, we were talking with Sabrina about Houston reports the first pediatric COVID-19 death in youth with no underlying conditions. So, again, I was having a conversation with my husband. We went to dinner with a couple, and today I found out that they weren't vaccinated. And I said, okay, the challenge is we can get in these situations where it could be uncomfortable, but we have got to get over being uncomfortable and just straight up ask them. Right. It's just a precursor. It's possible that we may get together with another couple, and I'm told him, you ask them, like, have you been, both of you, been vaccinated?
And it's tough because when you're sitting there, because that happened to me this week, you're sitting there, you're at the restaurant, you're, yapping it up, making all kinds of assumptions. And it's almost like you get to know when you get to know. But if you don't know, you don't know how to make a decision about it. So you have to figure out how to know, because that's a real problem. And it's become so political. It's a shame. Just a shame.
And if you're a nicey person and you don't know how to ask people, you need to step it up, because this is your life, your family's life. You need to ask. So, Gloria, there's two more. I know we got a guess. I know we got a topic, but these two issues are so important. The fact that the Supreme Court, did you hear about that, when the Supreme Court ruled against Biden no. This is about the moratoriums for the foreclosures.
Okay, go ahead.
Biden was attempting to extend the moratorium for foreclosures. 11 million people could be in position to get foreclosed on or evicted in the case of renting. And so somebody can correct me if I'm getting this wrong. I think the only way that it would have to go through legislation. They said that the president does not have the ability to do that. So literally, we have a lot of people that had that protection. And out here, they're talking about how bad the homeless population is. But part of the reason it's bad is because some people
getting ready to go up.
Yeah.
It's getting ready to go up. It's getting ready to go up. It's getting ready to go up. I did see part of that. I didn't understand all of it, but I did see a part of it. And they were showing pictures of people that are getting evicted today. Like today, getting evicted today. Like it went up today, they're getting evicted today. You guys, hey, I mean, for real.
And then DeSantis, the one thing is Florida, they ruled in favor of the teacher who wants a mask mandate. So that was good.
Yeah, that was a big deal. That was a big deal. I mean, there's so much to talk about. Man, don't be coming over here trying to find all the bad issues. We're here to talk about all the issues, We got good stuff. Yeah, but you have to talk about it, you guys. You have to talk about it. We want to keep you aware, and we're so glad. Now, don't forget to call us in on 313-778-7600. But I'm so excited to bring in our guest, Patrice Bobo Miles. Patrice Bobo Miles. I'm not quite sure if she's going to be able to join us on the Facebook stream, but she's here on the phone. Are you there, Patrice?
I think she's in both. I think we got you on both. We can hear you.
Yes.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
And we.
Okay, that's you guys. Well, I am here. You guys, you're down in that Florida part of it. Is it the storm, Patrice? Is it the storm that's coming through? It might. I mean, right now, it's at this point, Louisiana, Mississippi. But, we live in Hurricane Adam.
Wow. Well, before we go to break, Patrice is a fabulous friend. She's fabulous family. No doubt she has a wealth of information on this topic. But before we go into the topic, Patrice, I always ask my guests to please brag about themselves. Like, don't hold anything back, because I think it's really important for us to know how phenomenal we are. And our tribe continues to grow and grow and grow. And sometimes if we're not edged to go and tell a lot, we just tell the bare minimum. So I really want you to take a second and tell these women why you are so phenomenal. Women and men.
So I have the privilege of providing financing for people to buy homes, whether it's a residential home or investment property. And one of the greatest American dreams is to own your own home. So to be able to have worked with thousands of families over the many years, the 25 years that I've done this, it's a huge privilege and it's an honor to be able to play that role and helping them not only get into their own home, but possibly start to sow the seeds to build a generational wealth for the family. Absolutely. And, on the side of that, starting my own business, this is really working with my clients through their money trauma. And, working through the home with people over the years like this, I've seen a whole lot. So it's amazing what traumas can do and how to live in money, how to do against these supported bills, how you do against these people credit and line. So really excited about this next step.
Awesome. That's so exciting. First we have to say this. You guys hear us talk about Patrice. You guys hear us talk about Tony. You guys hear us talk about Angie. And hey, put Lee out there. Forces is a family, established parents. Love so much. So excited. You guys, listen, we got some callers already. Before we go back to Patrice, let's go to one of the callers. Let's see who's there. Is Ronique there? Ronique, are you there?
I am here.
Hi, Ronique. How are you?
Hi, Gloria. So good to hear your voice.
Welcome to We Got Issues. You got issues. We got issues. We all got issues. Ronique, do you have a comment or a question?
You were talking about Zoom and our adaptation to it. What tips do you have for getting people to feel comfortable with Zoom? And how long do we have in Zoom?
Oh, well, that's a very good question. And I like that question, Monique, because that same question can go to Zoom. It can go to Clubhouse. It can go to Facebook. That's a great question. And it is very different across the board. So I'm going to give you my impression, and then we can open it up for something to think about. But, okay, so this is what I know to be true. Most people, when they see your face, they can stand about 14 minutes of it when you're on Facebook Live. But when you go to Zoom, which is an on-purpose platform where they're coming for a specific purpose, usually they can handle much longer of a time because they're seeing your face, they understand that you're talking, and it's a community. A community can last a little bit longer. And then when you're talking about something like a Clubhouse, it can go for even longer because different people come on and off and on and off. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. But in terms of Zoom, it is usually something that people know when there's a start and a stop, and that can help people understand when they're going to be on there and what they're going to capture. We can talk about some tips about that too as well, Ronique, okay?
Okay, perfect.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you called in. Thank you for letting your story in. Yeah.
Thank you, lady.
Yes. We love it. Absolutely. Marathon. Oh, we got issue, brother. How you doing, Marathon?
How y'all doing? I'm doing good.
I'm sorry we missed you yesterday. We're glad to have you today.
I enjoyed the show. I listened to the show. It was good.
Thank you.
I usually use Facebook, when I want to sing and play the piano. I just feel like singing now. I just put it on there and I get a lot of good response.
Great. So you use it for singing. Okay, so Marathon, we're going to get right back to you. They're playing the music. We got to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back to you, Marathon. We're so glad that you called in. Absolutely. We're going to talk about the Facebook Live. Someone said, what is Clubhouse? So we're going to get give us a true breakdown of what it is. So I'm very excited, you guys. We'll be back to you in just a second. You're with We Got Issues at 9:10 a.m. the Superstation, WFDF out of Detroit. We'll see you in a minute on Friday.
Hey, Facebook audience. I cannot talk I can't talk very loud today because I'm literally connected to the radio with this, and I just see that I froze. So I want to first thank y'all for joining and listening in. Comment if you are able to hear me. I know that it looks like I'm frozen a little bit. That's one of the things we're talking about today is having good Wi-Fi, and I have great Wi-Fi, but we all need infrastructure. And so, good, Donna, that you got the 411 on the app. You'll learn a lot about what Clubhouse is because Patrice is a beast on Clubhouse. We know that we're having challenges with Patrice because there's a storm coming through Florida and her Wi-Fi is down. So she's on Facebook with her phone Wi-Fi while she's on the phone. So that is creating a little bit of a challenge. So thanks Pamela for letting me know that. So whenever you notice that, as much as I know you love to see us, you can, if you go directly to the iHeartRadio app and click on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation, or directly to the 9:10 a.m. Superstation app, or directly to the 9:10 a.m. Superstation website, you can sometimes try one of the other outlets and it will be clear, because if you get her directly from the radio, you're hearing the audio as opposed to the Wi-Fi. So that's a little bit of a tech tip. But we're talking about Zoom, and I want y'all, Zoom, Facebook, Clubhouse. I want a couple of y'all to call in with some really funny stories. Who has a funny story? The funniest story of what happened on Zoom. Anybody got a funny story? We want to hear some of your funny stories. We all are familiar with the dude who was on the news and his wife, but people thought it was his nanny, came in and had to snatch the baby. So my girlfriend was on when we talked about the sandwich generation, and she was talking about how she would have a client who was in custody because she's an attorney, and she'd be talking to that client on Zoom, and her 84-year-old father would walk in and her son walking in. So, while he's standing there in jail and she's trying to help him get out. So anyways, thanks for listening in. I got to pop back on the radio. So hopefully y'all can hear a little bit of this. It's so loud. Listen. Y'all hear a little bit of that? Okay. I got to put these headphones back on.
So we were just talking about, I don't know if Eric's understand, but he was saying how he uses Facebook Live.
I'm still there.
Okay, Marathon, you just hopped in there. Go ahead, Marathon. I know you're thinking about how you do Facebook Live. Go ahead.
I had a question. I was thinking about TikTok. What's the difference between Facebook Live and TikTok?
Go ahead. You know that's for real all day long. Go ahead.
I mean, I love TikTok. First of all, Facebook is kind of two communication. TikTok is a bit different, but TikTok is short. Used to be 1 minute. Now, Patrice probably can correct. I think it's 3 minutes that they do. But TikTok is perfect for musicians. Are you kidding me? You can be all over TikTok because people go to TikTok for fun. It is all about fun, and I weave in and educated. So TikTok also has a much younger demographic. So
I was wondering, should I get a YouTube channel?
They need absolutely YouTube.
Yeah, we're gonna push you out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna push me out there. I want to push me out there,
You'll be banned on your YouTube channel, okay?
Right, exactly.
I love this thing.
We remember. Okay, we're going to put you out there. But definitely, that's great by TikTok, YouTube channel, and that's what we're talking about today, America. So thank you for bringing in your.
All right. Check your next.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Marathon. You guys, he brought up a great topic. We're not necessarily going deep into that, but TikTok is a phenomenon. And my research about the topic today, they compared TikTok and the amazing growth that we had on Clubhouse with some of the social media giants shown up during the pandemic. So I'm going to go to the streets for a second. Let's go to the streets because Clubhouse is so super hot, you guys. So super hot. Over 12 million people on it. 10 million in the last couple of weeks. I mean, it must be bigger than 12 million. Patrice, let me go to you right now. In your words, can you explain to our audience what is Clubhouse and why you like it?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a delay, so I think the question answered.
What is Clubhouse?
Is this better? All right. I think the question that I heard is, what is Clubhouse? Clubhouse is a social media audio app. And you meet people in different rooms. So I don't think that there's a topic that someone is interested in that they cannot find on Clubhouse. And so you find yourself in rooms with people who have like interests, maybe know a lot about the same topics, and people that are in and out of these rooms just to learn about different things. There's, rooms on real estate, rooms on mindset, and rooms on building a following on Instagram, or how to create the perfect TikTok video. There's rooms on finance, there's rooms on health and wellness and sports. So, and it's a worldwide app. So I've been in rooms with people from Egypt and India and the UK and China and Australia, all at various times of the day. So it really is a way to bring a lot of people into your sphere, and make the world a little bit smaller. And because it's an audio app, you really start to develop friendships with some of these people, because you're in and out of the same rooms, the same interests in the same rooms. And so, yeah, there's a lot of friendships that are formed. A lot of business is done on Clubhouse as well. So it really has made the world a little bit smaller while widening, the people that and come to have relationships with.
Mm-hmm.
I personally find it phenomenal that you guys have developed such close friendships when you've never seen each other. It's worldwide. I do. I get on there and I listen, and they're really talking to each other like they just had coffee with each other that morning. And I'm like, they are really developing. So it's just, to me, I love technology. It's like a new phenomenon. Let me tell you a couple of facts. Clubhouse was recently valued at $4 billion, you guys. $4 billion with a B. And it started last year. I mean, it's super crazy. It's called the social audio. And it began in a pandemic, but they say it's here to stay. Everybody jumped on board. Twitter jumped on board. Spotify jumped on board. Facebook has jumped on board with Facebook audio. LinkedIn has jumped on board. So there's a lot that are coming to this app and causing the competition. There's a lot of creativity that's going on with it. People are trying to figure out how to get paid for it, which has been awesome. Katrina, what did you want to add?
I just wanted to add that I have found myself, I think of all the social media, the two that I have learned the most that literally have helped me in my business in so many ways. Number one, I would say, is Clubhouse, and number two is TikTok. I mean, I learn a lot about Black history. I learn a lot about things that I didn't know, random stuff I didn't know on TikTok, but on Clubhouse, oh my gosh, I go in there and it's just unbelievable to me how, the experts. And I think people love the fact that you don't have to be on video. So they talk a long time. It can go on and on and on, and you can get in and out. And you just really have an opportunity to eavesdrop on some really powerful conversations with powerful people in every industry. So I love it. Patrice, you know how to run a room. I mean,
right.
I know you're going to talk a little bit about some do's and don'ts and, you know, how you get to the stage, because everybody ain't ready for the stage on Clubhouse. So how do you keep the conversation going in the right direction?
I don't think of it as public speaking. And there are a lot of people who come into the rooms and
we lost your audio.
Can you not hear me?
It was going great. It cleared up and then
was. It's on the radio.
Okay.
I know. Can you hear me now?
Okay, while she's coming back, I want to address the word that you used, Katrina, which was etiquette. Etiquette on Zoom, etiquette on Facebook, etiquette on Clubhouse, etiquette even on TikTok. Like, they can't see you on TikTok, but there's stuff you can do that's etiquette and stuff that you can do that's not. And I'm telling you, age makes a difference. I'm just going to be real with y'all. Sometimes I'm looking on TikTok and I see some of those men's bodies come up there. I'm like, that is not etiquette, but I'm going to watch that right there. I'm going to watch that and get myself my own education for sure. But for sure, some of the etiquette, because honestly, Katrina, sometimes I'll get on Clubhouse and I feel bad if I jump off. But I know I can't stay. I don't want to insult people, but, you know, the whole etiquette. The same with Zoom. You know, you get on Zoom and you don't know, do I have to show my face? Do I not show my face? You know, we can talk about some etiquette when it comes to being online with these different things. I just started the Facebook audio. I did one last Sunday. I'm going to do one this Sunday. I think I'm going to keep it up for a consistent Sunday at 4:00. Just keep up the conversation. I think when I talked to Patrice, she was the one that said, you know, Gloria, you don't have to be on it every day. You can pick it like once a week and get on it. You know, you can listen the other time. So it's like these rules. So Patrice, I think we got you. Do we have you? So you can talk a little bit about etiquette.
I think I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect.
You know, it's really interesting. You know, a lot of people come on and I hear them say, oh gosh, I've never been on this stage before. And when I talk with my hands. So when you come into a Clubhouse room, it's like walking into a room. So think about walking into your room. And so there are people that are standing in front of the living room, like running the meeting, right? And then there are people who are sitting back, listening to the meeting and you know, adding whatever questions during the meeting. So that's if you kind of put it in that context. So you have an opportunity if you're in the meeting to actually speak and add value or ask questions to get them answered. So you have the room that everyone's in where you can speak. And then there are just people that are in the room, but they don't have the ability to speak. I've moderated rooms that have had, you know, over 500 people in them. And I've moderated rooms that have had, you know, 20 people in them. But anytime someone comes up for the first time, they're really nervous because they're like, well, you know, I've never really done public speaking. So I know a lot of people are in and out, just kind of working on those public speaking skills. But the people who are in the rooms who are moderators and they have this little bitty green bean next to their name, they're considered, you know, subject matter experts on whatever the conversation is in the room. And so, yeah, it is an opportunity to really grow your knowledge in a whole lot of different areas.
Patrice, can Android get on it now? There was a time it was only for iPhone, but is it open to everyone now?
It is open, period, because there was a point in time when it was only open to iPhone users and you had to have an invitation from somebody who was already a member of Clubhouse. So all of that is gone. You actually, if you have an iPhone, can download the Clubhouse app from the App Store, or if you are an Android user from, I want to say Google. I don't. Okay, because I'm an iPhone user, so yeah, it's wide open. Anybody can come in now and become a member.
Okay, so let's talk about this that you just talked about: fear. There's a fear of using the voice. There's a fear of using your face. There's a fear of Zooming. I just want to talk about this for a second because you said something that was really good. You can get on an app that you're brand new on. You can get on Clubhouse and you can learn how different personalities throw their voice. Some people throw with a lot of energy, some do not. Some people talk really fast, some do not. Some people talk and get right to the point, some do not. Some have long, drawn out conversations, some do not. I find that if you are someone who needs to learn how to speak more out loud, that is a playground where you can hear different people use their best self to do it. Just like when you go on Zoom, what I think what happens on Zoom or on Facebook Live is that people see people on it and get intimidated and then don't do it. Mm-hmm. So it becomes a very interesting place because we've all grown to do that. So who wants to lean in on that conversation about how do you overcome fear on any of those platforms?
I wanted to ask you, Gloria, probably didn't have to overcome it totally on the platform because you had to overcome it the whole just speaking in general, but did you have to work on getting rid of your uhs and ums and all of those? How did you get rid of that in your public speaking? Your ability to, was that ever a problem for you? I have to consciously work on those nervous words that you say, like how do you work on that?
Right. It wasn't a big challenge for me because it drives me crazy when other people do it. And so I think
I know what you're saying.
Right. I think I'm so sensitive to it that I understand that this is what I learned in speaking from someone who taught me about speaking. Silence bothers people, but it bothers the person that's speaking, not bothers the person that's listening. So sometimes we say and ah and all that kind of stuff, thinking that we're making other people feel comfortable because we can't handle the silence. But the silence is a value to you. So
like
it's something
put your phone on
silence. Yeah, it helps a lot. I do have to say this, since Chrisette's not here, Patrice, you are winning all the points for hair and jewelry. Okay, and I'm tired of it. Okay?
Thank you.
Artwork, hair, jewelry.
Right. Hello. First we have to beat with Chrisette, and now we got Patrice on the game. Okay, so that's good. I just wanted to bring that
up. Y'all knew I was not going to come up here looking sloppy.
Okay, so let's talk about that, you guys.
I was going to say that.
Live. Yep, go ahead, Katrina. Go ahead.
But I was going to say, even on Clubhouse, if you are working on your public speaking, even when people can't see you, looking your best, your posture, how you sit, I have noticed I now have a standing desk. And I have noticed that when I want to be my most powerful self, I actually stand up. And it makes a difference. And so, but yes, image. I'm gonna pass it back to you, Gloria, and talk more about the image. It's got to be tight and right?
Okay, so let's just be girlfriends with our tribe here for a second. And for those of you who are listening internationally, I want to give you one word: lights. And if you're going to be Clubhouse, audio. You have to pay attention to how you're being heard. The kids in the background, the dog that's barking, the doorbell that's ringing. What I love about this pandemic is everyone has more patience than before. So you can easily say, excuse me, that's my dog. Excuse me, somebody's at the door. Excuse me, my phone is ringing. You really do have a place.
As long as it doesn't happen all the time. You're the one who's always unmuted. You always
Guilty. I am so guilty.
Of what, Patrice? Of what?
I'll be in the middle of a sentence, and I have 3 dogs. And I will be in the middle of a sentence, and the wind will blow, and the dogs will go off, and I'm like, guys, I'm sorry, dogs, let me put them out. And they all but I'm in, I'm kind of in the same rooms. So they're just like, I said, I'm sorry, they don't have manners. Right. But you are absolutely right. Tonight, my dogs are in the backyard, so they will not bark. But it is funny, and I notice even when I'm on Clubhouse that when I'm really passionate about something or I'm really making a point, I have the tendency to get up and walk. And as I'm talking, I'm kind of power walking. It's a little bit of a power walk. As I'm whether I'm disagreeing with someone, because that does happen, or I'm really trying to hammer in a point. So you're absolutely right that the posture makes all the difference in the world. So
Right.
I agree totally with
Well,
that.
I want to hit on that for a second. Once again, when you said the posture, because honestly, when I'm listening to people, I'm wondering if they're looking in a mirror talking, if they're just become comfortable. Let's talk about your journey, Patrice, your journey to be comfortable on Clubhouse or your journey to be comfortable on social media. Can you talk a little bit about your journey?
I can, and I was at a sales meeting in Dallas, and they brought in a social media expert, and he was talking about Facebook Live, and Facebook Live was the new thing at that point in time. And I said, you know what, I am going to do this. I've never really had fear of public speaking. I've done it pretty much for all my life, and I actually work with teenage girls in my area through the Distinguished Young Women's Program and helping them with their public speaking skills. So public speaking wasn't an issue, but the one thing that I do know, you almost never like the way that you sound when you hear yourself on video. There's this perception that what you put out has to be perfect, and you can't misstep, you can't, which people want to see you. They want to see you in your full authenticity. And I'm sorry, I don't speak perfectly every time I'm speaking, right? And on Facebook Live, I'm a little more careful with how I look this way, but I have done videos with absolutely no makeup just to prove a point. So it was part of the point of what I was doing. But what I did figure out in my Facebook Live journey is that people just got to a point where they wanted to know who I was. And they appreciated that when I came on with a live video, that it was just me. There wasn't any fluff. There wasn't any let's pretend we're somebody else. And anybody who knows me, and Lori and Katrina, y'all have known me a while, I'm kind of direct. Actually, I'm very direct. There's not a kind to it.
All y'all are
people
direct.
appreciate that. Oh, I'm real direct. You think I'm real direct. When I first got on Clubhouse, they used to say, guys, I love Patrice. She's like straight with no chaser. So, yeah.
Right.
But people appreciate that level of authenticity, period. And you get used to how you sound, because how you sound is how you sound. Right?
Right. But the journey, I love the fact that the journey is when you get on there first, you don't have a lot of followers. And if you worry about the followers, you never grow your followers. You have to worry about what you're delivering. And like you said, being your authentic self. And when you do that, you do connect with people. It's how can I connect with people? So I want to say this to you. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and she had a big meeting, and I told her to write down these words and put it really big in front of her face. Put down the words. Words are not your friend. Because she was using too many words to connect. When you're connecting with people, you put things in a form of questions. When you put things into a form of questions, you're going to connect. People are going to lean in more. There's certainly times like this on talk radio when you're giving a lot of information out. And that's why we ask for callers to call in, because when you call in, you guys, at 313-778-7600, if I didn't drop it, when you call in, it lends a different perspective to what's going on. But sometimes words are not your friend. If you find that you're talky, or you're having if you're having a challenge connecting with people. So that could be a big piece of it.
So much. I know I was going to jump in and talk about Zoom, but really everything I'm sharing applies to definitely all of the video social media platforms. Can you believe, y'all, 300 million people daily are using Zoom, up 30%. Of course, the 30 times more than it was from the year before these stats, and it probably was even more than that, which is crazy. So we all keep saying we should have had some Zoom stock, but so many things that I wanted to say. Number one is not just about Zoom, but you were saying about Facebook too. If you are trying to build a business and you want to, not that you're just out there with your business, you want to, be organic, as you were talking about, Patrice, no makeup, different things like that. But the algorithm recognizes your video. So nothing boosts you more than video. So I just want to encourage everyone, whether you're practicing on Zoom and then transferring that to Facebook Live or whatever, I mean, this is not going away. So that dot right there can literally change your future.
It's here.
It can change your future, right? Patrice, I know you've gotten clients and business through Clubhouse. You're not just on there to be on there, right? I mean, it has been.
I am not.
Yeah. You're very intentional with your purpose, I'm sure, for being on there. And so some of the things I wanted to say is engaging with people in the comments is important on Zoom. So that is really important. Most importantly, it applies to everywhere. Know where the camera is. I mean, a lot of times it took me a while to do that. If you're using your phone and you turn it one way, your camera might be way over off to the left, and you got to know where it is. On an iPad, people, if they use an iPad, most of the time they look a little bit interesting because you're looking away. And so you don't want to look at yourself. You want to look at the camera. And so Patrice, that is.
Are you
convicted?
You look good. You look good.
So it's just knowing where that is. And you know what? That teenager, that young hotshot is your friend. Okay. Somebody can help you out with that. So, so those are just a couple things, Gloria. The mutes are so important. I mean, and you can't talk in a monotone. You got to do something with your voice. So so many little things. Get better at Zoom all the time. But one of the biggest things is lighting, and look at the camera, not at yourself. So let me say one more thing is when you do want to read something, like right here, we're on the radio, so we use paper all the time. But if you're going to be just on Facebook Live, you'd be surprised. There's some apps that will allow you to have kind of your script or your bullet points right underneath your camera, so you can look at it and it be reading it or referring to it, but people don't even know that you're reading it. Or do you ever do that, Gloria, or is it just me?
Yes. No, I do that all the time. Yeah.
And it takes some skill to do that, right? I mean, that didn't come easy, but I'm telling you, it'll make you look like you're on the news, because them folks be reading stuff. Trust.
Right. Now, okay. You know, it's real crazy for me with my dyslexic self. My eyes be like rolling all over the place. So it really took some practice, some real practice, for me to get it right, because it was something that I wasn't really good at, for sure. But but here's the point, Katrina. Here's the point to all of you guys. Practice makes perfect, and without practice, it doesn't happen. You know, when we were doing our Clubhouse, when we first got the Force of Friendship on Clubhouse, we were like begging Patrice, can you please monitor? We don't know what we're doing. And she was like, let me tell you something. The reason you're so blessed, Patrice, is because you lent yourself to us. You're like, y'all need help. You need me. Okay, I just want to let you know.
Do not come up in here without me. We ain't been back since.
So you
do not open a room without me in there.
Right. I mean, it really made a difference that someone would lean in. So part of it is practice. Part of it is asking help from people who know what they're doing. Patrice, I want you to spend a minute about the event that you went to that was generated from a Clubhouse audience, that all these people came. You know, tell them a little bit about that, because I thought it was interesting. I want to read this to them first. The 4 most popular social audio apps are: number 1, Clubhouse; number 2, Twitter Spaces, which I thought was quite interesting; number 3, it's Facebook Live Audio Rooms, I'm sorry; and number 4 is Spotify Green Rooms. Interesting. And LinkedIn is getting ready to debut theirs. They're in beta right now. So everyone's coming into the space. Very interesting. So tell them a little bit about that event that you went to, Patrice.
I spend a lot of time in real estate rooms, obviously, being a mortgage loan originator. And so we went to, there's a gentleman on the app, and he was like, let's take this Clubhouse experience and make it live. So it was Clubhouse Live. You know, he'd done it previously in Dallas, and his name is Alvin Hope Johnson. So let me give him his credit. And said, hey, let's take this to Atlanta. And so you could get a VIP ticket or you get a regular ticket. But those of us in the space and that knew about the event, I flew into Atlanta, and it was an opportunity to physically meet these people that you've been friends with, right? it really solidifies what you think you know. Because let's be really clear, Clubhouse is a social media app. And social media can be filled with some posers, right? And people who maybe aren't as integrous as maybe you felt that they were. So the opportunity to look somebody in the eye, have dinner with them, to talk about possible deals or transactions. I mean, it really gave you that personal. This person is really a friend of mine. And the interesting thing is, of course, now we have our Clubhouse friends and we have our Clubhouse cell phone friends.
Wow.
Right? So these are the numbers we have in our cell phones now, and can kind of pick up the phone and go, I'm thinking about into this short-term rental space. Let's run some numbers. How would you underwrite this? And the things that I've learned about real estate just since I've been in January, it's like you don't know what you don't know, right? But man, when you figure out some of the things you don't know, it's just, I mean, seriously, mind blowing. It has been a phenomenal addition to my professional, and then of course building this new business. It has really given me an audience of people that are interested in what I do, and because they know me from the out, trust what I'm saying is what it is, and know that I'm coming from a place of how can I be of service to you, and let's work together.
Right. Excellent. Trust. You guys, trust. Let's talk about that for a second. When you think about how you can use social media if you have a business, and I'm talking a lot about entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship, and depending on what you're doing, social media can be a huge bounce for you. But trust is something that you have to establish, and that's going into how much of your life you want to show, what about your life you want to show, how comfortable you get with it. For instance, trust. All my pictures are touched up. Trust. Some don't, some do. But that's me. On stories, you see the real me. On my post, you're going to see a little bit touched up. I like adding a little bit of color or a little bit of lash or a little less wrinkles. That's me. But that's who I am all the time. And so I think it makes a very important point that sometimes we resist doing things because people are going to see us as we truly are. But I think that's more of what's going on in the world right now. Social media has made things very loud, and now that you can lend your voice and your face, you can be even louder. So I'm just telling our tribe, you have to go with what maybe you're not comfortable doing in order to be comfortable. I want to ask Katrina for a second. She knows the rules about music. So Katrina, what are the rules about music on Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff?
I could go on and on about this because I'm kind of hot about it.
Yeah,
but
she's mad about it.
Yeah, I'm mad because to me, if I bought the music, I should be able to use it. But the rule is really that I do not own the rights to this music. That I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't mean anything. I think
Really?
so. I think Facebook, if you can get in jail, even if you put, I do not own the rights to this music. And so technically it could be, even if like you're at a wedding and you are dancing to a song, or music is in every part of our life. You're at a barbecue and you're just, Maze is playing in the background and you're just showing some of what is there. Like, you are not supposed to be able to do that. So at any point you could get in Facebook jail for that. Or part of your video is just muted out. And it's not just on Facebook, it's happening on YouTube. And I got to the point that Vimeo told me if I have one more infraction, they're going to cancel my account. And all the music I have on there is just me, in a room with music playing in the background, that kind of thing. So it is, so what you're going to now with music is proprietary, what is it called? The music that is not copywritten.
Somebody made up, right?
Yeah. So when you're in the Canva or different things like that, I thought I heard the music. So when you're in Canva or you use some of those apps and you want to post different things, a lot of the apps will have music in there that you can use.
Right.
Excellent. Boy, I had to say one thing about the background.
Okay.
We just have to tell people, make sure your background's not crazy,
Yes. Yes, talk about it.
Your background, it just needs to be clean, crisp, appropriate. Also the level when you're looking at it, make sure folks aren't looking up your nose, down your nose. down your cleavage, just different positions.
Right.
It can be a old school phone book that you didn't know what you was going to do with. Find something in your house to stack that thing up and get it where you're looking straight too.
Right. And
understand everything in the background.
The value of green screen. Katrina, you could talk about the value of green screen because you have become a pro at the green screen for sure. I had my niece come over my house, y'all, and do my background because I use my background so much. But I said, just fix this up. I'm gonna stay right here. I got lights, camera, action all up here, and this is what I do. But getting good with the green screen, mixing it up with the green screen. What do you want to add, Katrina?
It's so important. My office, I mean, I love my office. It's beautiful, but over here is glass and over here is a window. And it just doesn't it doesn't look as perfect. So I use a green screen a lot. But I do mix it up, like Patrice said. And sometimes when I'm doing stories, I'm just live, in my house, that kind of thing. So you mix it up and do both.
Okay, so here's what I want to say. I want to say that someone put on there about podcasting, and we will have to come back to you guys with some podcasting specials for sure. But in the meanwhile, Patrice, let's go to how can people find you? Tell them where they can find you and locate you. You guys, people who are in real estate. People who are interested in mortgage growth. people who just want to be educated on what to do next. Patrice is patient. She's smart. She's intelligent, and she can move you from point A to point Z so you can understand what to do. So, Patrice, tell them where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Patrice Bobo Miles. I pretty much try to keep to Patrice Bobo Miles or P Bobo Miles. I'm on Instagram at P Bobo Miles. I'm on Twitter. I don't know my Twitter handle because
don't give it there. That's okay.
As much as
we can find you on,
right? Yeah,
we'll find you on Facebook, and we'll find you
on Clubhouse.
Yes, and she's on Clubhouse. Patrice Bobo Miles. Yes,
you can always find me on Clubhouse.
Yeah, so it's been so good. It's been so good, you guys. There she is. Great. So, you guys, this is the weekend. We want you to have a fabulous weekend. You've been listening to We Got Issues. Patrice, we thank you so much for being a guest for us. So much. This is 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. And this is WFDF out of Detroit. This is Gloria and Katrina. We were happy to bring in Patrice. And we will see Sabrina and Chrisette on Monday for sure, because we are the force of friendship. And we wish you guys a very fabulous weekend. Talk to you later. Thanks for joining in. Bye-bye.